If you're still making closets like this, you're probably doing it wrong.
Why? So small. Why?
There's a better way to use the same space to increase storage, make them more usable, better organized, and easier to access. In fact, did you know a simple closet like this could lose as much as 21 cubic feet of storage space, which is about the same amount of storage as a 36-inch fridge. Here's the thing. Most of us don't live in huge mansions with endless space. Instead, a good majority of us live in smaller homes, often with the whole family under one roof. And sometimes buying or building a new home isn't always realistic. So, what's the best option? Maybe it's to renovate and squeeze out as much usable space as possible. And that's where this video comes in. Typically, most homes have a reach-in closet. For example, something like this, 6 foot wide by 2 foot deep and 8 foot tall or thereabouts. And that sounds like a decent closet, right? In fact, here's 4 major reasons why you should rethink your typical closet, especially if you're about to renovate. 1. Wasted space from framing.
Don't hit your face with the hammer.
They're usually framed with 2x4s and drywall, which eats into usable space and adds awkward corners. 2. Hard to reach areas. The way these closets are typically framed with dimensional lumber creates unreachable spots like the sides behind doors or on the top shelves above the door header. 3. Unreliable doors. Many closets have bifold doors, which often fall off and come unhinged or get stuck, especially with kids around. 4. Time intensive to build. Actually, if you think about it, making a closet like this on site chews up a bit of time, and is definitely something that you won't have completed from start to finish in a day. For example, the time to frame, drywall, mud, tape, sanding between coats, not to mention drying time, painting, hanging doors, and trimming it all out, along with assembling and installing a closet organizer, takes a bunch of time. In fact, I ran into this issue myself. I needed to turn a small office into a bedroom, but there was a problem. There was no closet, and I only had 1 weekend to make it usable. Traditional framing and finishing weren't an option with such a tight timeline. And here's how I solved it, and how you can too. I used a wardrobe instead of a traditional closet. During the week, I cut out and packaged the wardrobe pieces. Then, on the weekend, I drove to the job site and installed it. I'll even give you 8 solid reasons why this works better. 1. Saves you time. You can buy wardrobes at big box stores and assemble them yourselves. Or better yet, have a cabinet shop cut the pieces for you to assemble. This skips the lengthy framing time and finishing process.
We got our kick all leveled, but upon leveling our kick, as you can see, there's quite a gap there. About 1.5 inches to nothing. And the problem with that is I measure off the kick, and the height that puts that at the ceiling is making my cabinets too tall. So I'm going to cut my kick down. I'm just going to scribe it. So my highest point is over here. Just got this, that's close. I run my pencil here, it's basically just not touching. And then as I go along, you can see, when we get to the end here, and I got almost 1.5 inches there.
2. Maximize the space. Unlike frame closets, wardrobes don't waste space. A traditional closet uses 2x4 framing and 1/2 inch drywall. And on an 8 foot by 8 foot wall, that takes up about 21 cubic feet of storage, equivalent to the storage of some 36-inch wide fridges. With a wardrobe, you can reclaim that space.
We got our kick chopped down so we don't have quite as big a gap at the end.
Oh, it's so heavy.
Good boy.
Ugh.
I'm getting it.
Oh.
Running into walls. Can't walk through the walls. Okay, put it down. I think I got it. Thank you. 3. Better accessibility. Wardrobes eliminate awkward corners. Everything is within reach. No more digging behind hidden back corners or headers and struggling with top shelves. I designed mine with flip-up doors to use the higher spaces more efficiently. 4. More storage options. Wardrobes offer flexibility such as drawers, pullouts, adjustable shelves, and rods, and many other hardware options. You can customize them without the limitation of hollow walls. 5. Ditch the damn bifold doors. I use smooth operating doors with soft close hinges. No more bifold hassle. Just a couple things. Before you put these against the wall, you want to know where your studs are. So Before I put this one up, I knew where it was, and I could see where my stud space was here, so I could just measure back. I knew it was 9.5 inches from this cabinet to the stud. The other thing I want to point out is you don't want to fasten your first cabinet in place tight to the wall, because when you put your second one, the walls might be curved and this one's stuck tight, and then this one you can't push it tight enough to cover this gap. I just put a screw in there just to hold the cabinet, this cabinet in place while I was pushing this one up. I'm going to loosen that off, and then I'm going to get these clamped and screwed together first. So I like using these little pan head screws. They're 1.1 inch, so they're not long enough to go through 2 5/8. It's going to stop before it wants to blow out. 6. Looks classier. Wardrobes feel more upscale than a typical framed-in closet. I use panel doors with thermally fused melamine. It's durable, it's easy to clean, and available in many colors. You could even upgrade to wood doors for a premium look. So we're starting to get there. Got my tall cabinets in. Now we're going to do my top ones, and those are going to flip up and they'll be close to the ceiling. At least you can throw blankets and stuff you don't use up there, and then this is going to be more for clothes, and then I don't have to patch any walls. Left a little more gap just to have a filler here and allow a little more room for the door to open without the handle hitting the wall. 7. Better organization. Unlike the cheap organizers most people install, wardrobes are sturdier and more customizable, making your space more functional. And 8. Adds value. A well-designed wardrobe can increase your home's appeal to buyers or renters, making your property more desirable and more valuable, especially if you're going to sell that home down the road. However, are there some downsides to consider? Well, one would be cost. Wardrobes might cost a bit more than the basic closet, depending on your materials and who does the work. Custom cabinet maker will be pricier, but DIY or store-bought options can be a little more budget-friendly. Also, it's not for everyone. If you have a large house with ample room for walk-in closets, this solution might not suit your needs. There we have it. Closet over the weekend and much more functional space. So you got the rollouts that can work for your clothes. Just a little shelf, and there'll be a hanger rod in there. Clothes hanging rod up there for longer items, and another shelf down there, and then another 3 pull-out shelves for clothes, and hers, and then these flip up. Switching to a wardrobe can definitely transform your small space, making it more functional, organized, and appealing. If the solution isn't for you, then maybe you should check out my other videos for more ideas. Be sure to like, subscribe, and watch for more.
Why? So small.